Well, hello, I'm all of you beautiful Maverick Nation broskies and broskies. And I'm the Dark Shadow Maverick. Here with another What If for y'all. And, well, this one's gonna be a banger, if I do say so myself. And if you're wondering, well, these are all just a string of Naruto what ifs, don't worry, there are gonna be what ifs that aren't, just Naruto what ifs. Trust me. I have stuff planned. Just stuff that might be planned. It's not all gonna be Naruto what ifs, but this one is Naruto what if. And you might be wondering why I have a TV remote. Well, I'm trying to be experimental up in this bitch. This what if here. What if Naruto was taken in by the Delta Heroes? Yeah, it might seem random, but this has been cooking up in my brain for a while. You see, around this time, this is about Naruto's 13th birthday, and this is actually kind of something that Naruto was not looking towards. Because Naruto doesn't just know that 13 is an unlucky number, but he knows that every time his birthday comes around, well, the beatings get worse. Way worse. Because it isn't just his birthday. It's the day of the Kyuubi attack on Konoha. And so, basically, 13-year-old Naruto, on his 13th birthday, just now turned 13. Is running from a mob of villagers after having failed the test for the third time, the getting an exam. And seeing as he ran from the mob, Mizuki wasn't able to do the bullshit that he did in the main canon. Because Naruto wasn't there. He was too busy running from the mob. And Naruto is so scatterbrained because of how sad he was that he failed for the third time getting an exam, that he doesn't pay attention and he ends up, entering the forests of death. Basically, forest of death. Training ground 44 on accident. And so basically, the mob is like, oh, like the creatures in there will freaking kill him. So they just go off to whatever, believing that he basically signed his own death warrant. Little do they know that what has just happened now will change the course of everything. Naruto plushie. Only this isn't part 1 Naruto, this is shipping it Naruto. And my little remote here. Only that's only half true because, well, the people that left were more or less the drunken civilians, but the shinobi that were following him in mob formation, they didn't leave, regardless of it being the Forest of Death. They were pissed. They wanted their pound of flesh. And so they're basically trailing the entire forest trying to find Naruto from within it. And that's whenever something deep within the canopy of the Forest of Death begins to twitch. Almost like, sensing something with its nose. With his nose. Can you smell that? Says a voice. And another voice says, yeah, I can smell it. Should I let you and your friends take care of it? Well, for now at least. And then the other voice says, well, whatever you want to do after all. I do remember how, well, you felt after that one time. And I do feel genuinely bad. I mean, considering everything, even after what happened, I still feel like And then the other voice is like, it's alright. It's been done and over with. Just let's make sure to keep the kid from getting killed, okay? After all, I'm pretty sure that's what you wanted to do, right? San. And then the other voice is like, well, Sochi, you read my damn mind. About read my damn mind, why don't you? Yes, that's right. It's DSM and DSM.exe talking. Basically discussing on if they should go after the shinobi that are trailing Naruto to save Naruto from being killed. They were basically, chilling out within the canopy whenever they saw Naruto and then the other shinobi like go past. They didn't really see it. They could smell it though. They could literally sense what was happening before even any senses other than just sense alone could tell them. They had already, gotten a good, you know, tell of what was going on. And so they were just discussing on what the hell to do. And so DSM was like, I assume you know what I'm going to do to the bastards that try to hurt this kid? Sochi? And DSM.exe like, well, looks like somebody's gonna be a little protective mom bear. You never really have changed, have you? To San. And DSM was like, if I changed, I wouldn't be myself. And, like, DSM.exe and DSM just have a freaking laugh before, like, they like, spread off into their different directions. DSM to help Naruto, and DSM.exe to, well, do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And if you're wondering why they're acting so dang cordial, because, well, in my series, they ain't exactly that cordial. Well, this What If is basically an AU. Basically, where, everyone didn't die. Like, everyone's still alive. And the reason for that being, well, unlike in the canonicity, timeline of the Dawn of the Legend, there was able to be a, common understanding. Like something that was more thought out. So that everything just didn't implode and then explode upon itself. And that's because one universe already went to hell. So whatever created that universe was like, okay, let me recreate something like a U of sorts of what I already had created before and see if I can make it better. Like, he wasn't going to destroy the previous thing, but he wanted to see if he could make the thing better of the new world. He wanted to see if he could do a new draft better. Like a type of multitask. Like, to see if he could come up with an optimal, like, solution or resolution or whatever. And it just turns out this new draft seems to be the one where instead of an implosion of raw emotion that ended up in, well, blind hatred and destruction of everything, and just total genocide, there was actually able to be a common ground and a common understanding. So not everyone had to die. Though Team Epsilon is still a thing. It's just, in this world now, they're not really villains as much as they were before. They're more or less just there. Don't get me wrong, they're still intimidating as fuck. Because, well, DSM.exe is still intimidating as fuck. Like, if you provoke this guy, you're going to pay for it. So, yeah. For basically pretty much that's what happened. And so, well, the Forest of Death is basically where DSM and DSM.exe have been hanging out after, well, where they landed and wherever else their friend or group or whatever landed after, well, the entire resolution. Basically, the creator god guy decided, well, this entire like Dalva thing might need a little bit of a makeover. And so he basically transformed, not only transmuted, trans whatever, not only the people, but the entire like Delta continent over to like the Naruto universe or whatever. So yeah, basically now the people of, well, my series basically live in the Naruto world. And, well, whatever. Basically, DSM is just sprinting over because, well, there's no real need for him to hurry too much. I mean, he's pretty fast without hurrying. He could catch up to them without all that much of a problem. Because he's ridiculously fast. Electric types are just natural born sweepers. So naturally, he would be a speed demon. And so he can just do a casual jog and catch up with him in either way, whatever. And whenever eventually the shinobi do corner Naruto, and Naruto's like terrified for his life. Sorry guys, gotta go for a bathroom break. Okay, back to the story. Basically, whenever like all the shinobi get to cornering Naruto, he's like terrified. But then all the shinobi and even Naruto like hear this voice. Hey, you big ugly bastards. You might want to get the hell away from the kid before I really fuck your faces up. Or am I going to have to rock some shit up with some really stupid big ugly bastards? And whenever the shinobi turn around, they see DSM, and seeing as the dude's only 1 foot tall, they literally just laugh at him. Which is not exactly the wisest thing to do. Because after that, he basically jumps up in the air and is like, hyperbolic charge. I was like, basically just sends all the shinobi in different directions, like, boom, 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 like a ping pong ball, like omnidirectional ping pong ball. And well, basically, DSM is like, you guys want to keep on going? I can go all day. And the shinobi aren't exactly willing to just let that demon brat live. So they decide that they'll kill both the demon brat and whatever the hell this thing is. Bad move. Because DSM is, kind of able to tap into his godlike power and read their freaking minds, even their intent. And basically, what they plan to do whenever he, learns what they plan to do, he's like, oh, hell no. That's it. All expenses paid. Trip to Asshole Land. I'm about to rock your shits. And they don't actually take him seriously. Another big mistake they make. Because basically just jumps up and basically shines his tail up for an iron tail, but then uses parabolic charge and fuses the two attacks together. Basically creating an electric drill that basically used to massacre everybody. But it shines unnaturally, and then you just hear something crazy going on. You just hear this. You guys are fucked. And basically, this electric drill, he just massacres them with it. It's like zzz, 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 zzz. And he just forms a freaking boom, 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 boom pattern, goes up in the air, and it's like all the things compressed together, and it's like a giant explosion, like compressed death, boom, like Mr. Compressed, boom. And Naruto was just completely shocked at what he has just seen. And yes, if you guys can hear that, that is the DSM version of Golden Born. well, just after all of this, DSM is just like, and that's what you get. And just DSM just goes up to Naruto and he's just like, don't worry, those bad men are gone. And Naruto's like, I'm not a kid. And DSM was like, yes, you are. I may have sounded a little condescending, but still, yeah, they were bad men, you know. They were assholes. They were literally going to do all sorts of mean shit to you. And we were even planning on trying to freaking eat me, since, you know, I'm not exactly the tallest person. And Naruto's like, how the frick do I even understand you? Aren't you like some sort of animal? And basically, DSM explains that it's called a communication network. And he basically uses stealth energy to like form a sort of bond and communications network with whoever he wishes to, even without them knowing. And seeing as he didn't want to make it difficult for Naruto, he just decided to do that before he did anything else. So Naruto wouldn't freak out too much whenever he came up to him. And DSM was like, don't worry, if I, form a communications network, anyone who I have a communications network as well will also know how to communicate with you and you communicate with them. It's a little thing I, basically can do, seeing as, well, I'm a sort of leader amongst, my people. If, you might say I'm an alpha of sorts. And, Naruto knows what, alpha means, basically, because, Inuzuka clan. And, well, DSM is like, the kind of structurally of a alpha, and, where I come from, may or may not be different from the Inuzuka clan. Because, DSM knows about the Inuzuka clan. He actually knows a lot about, all the villages in the Shinobi nations. Because he reads up on that shit. He has been reading up on that shit ever since he got here. Because, knowledge is power, G.I. Joe. Aside from Naruto and DSM, we have, well, basically, right before the transition, DSM actually sends a message out to a certain someone. Naruto not knowing who it is. DSM just says, oh, it's a certain someone, a partner of mine. And then we just flip over to a scene with, like, in the village, and a certain shadow is looming overhead. And they just enter the Hokage mansion and slide by without being noticed, like a dang invisible person. And, well, just a few seconds later, Hiruzen is like, I know you're here. And the person just like, aw, I wanted to surprise you. And whenever they reveal themselves, a person is basically 8 feet tall and they're a sort of spider person. Harrison's like, reveal your like he's just like going to attack, and Angel is just like, whoa, buddy, the name is Angel Dust, and on the state of certain Naruto Uzumaki, that is, well, his name, if a certain someone I know is right, and well, basically on the fact that he's with him right now, I would hope that he is. So basically, Angel Dust, explains that DSM knows everything about just how epically Hiruzen has failed Naruto. And how basically DSM wants, a better life for Naruto, seeing as he was supposed to be seen as a hero, but has been treated like absolute dog shit as like in the village ever since, they well, he was out of the care of the Hokage. And Hiruzen's like, he isn't exactly willing to just like hand over the Naruto without a fight. That is until like he senses the power. Like, it ain't chakra, but it is definitely power that he cannot contend with. But it ain't the power of the person right in front of him. But it's power that he can sense from the person, as if they've made contact with the other person that power belongs to. And Angel just says, oh, that's my certain special someone, DSM, who's with Naruto right now. And he ain't taking no for an answer, buddy. Basically, Hiruzen's like, he could sense the power, and like Angel just says, like, he ain't taking no for an answer. Hiruzen's like, fuck. Minato, Kushina, I'm so sorry. Like, he knows he could not win a fight if he even tried. Because of a little something that he knows about, a certain connection that, well, this certain being has with other beings known as blood moons, extremely powerful beings. And so if, Hiruzen were to attack this being, the Blood Moons would basically destroy the entire Leaf Village as, like, retribution for, like, this being attacked. If not the entire freaking Shinobi Nations. They're that hardcore. So basically, Hiruzen is just forced to admit the fact that basically he's just like, damn it. And, well, Angel Dust, well, he's just like, don't worry, old man. We'll take good care of the kid. Better than anyone else has here. And then just in like some sort of summons of a lightning bolt inside the freaking room, just like Naruto appears holding DSM, and DSM's like, stop it, kid, I don't need to be held. And Naruto's like, you scared the shit out of me, I didn't know what else to do. And DSM was like, sorry, jeez, but just put me down, Jesus. basically revealing that that was sort of a lightning delta shunshin like shit. That, DSM knows how to do because of his ridiculous power and intelligence. And, well, Hiruzen just wants them to promise, like, swear an oath that Naruto will be protected. And, well, it's not entirely that he wants to keep Naruto within Konoha. It's more or less just that, please, like, there are people that would want to, treat Naruto as a weapon. Cough, cough, Donzo. And, well, yeah. But, doesn't even really need for that to be said. Because, like, DSM already knows. It's like, oh, yeah, the old Warhawk. That, cranky old bastard. Oh, and by the way, Angel Pop, would you mind teaching the old Warhawk bastard how we deal with shit whenever it comes to security of those that we actually care about? Mi amor. Amorcito. like mi amorcito. And, just hearing DSM call him mi amorcito, like, Angel just gets this warm feeling inside, and it's like, sure thing, babe. Sure thing. Say, Don or whatever. You want to treat a kid like a weapon? Well, fuck you. And Donzo is just like, how dare you? And, like, Angel's like, no. How about more like, fuck you? I was like, and then just like, a little something that, mi amor taught me. And basically all of Angel's, like, fingers turn like a lavender color, like a lavender light color. And he just, like, jabs straight into Donzo's heart. And, like, all of the Izanagi eyes, including Shinsui's eye, like, fail automatically. And even all of the Hashirama cells just self-destruct. For those of you that want to know whatever the hell that was, I call it the five-finger serpent palm of death. Like, Angel just admitting that, like, out of nowhere. And DSM was like, creative naming choice, mi amor. Cito. And Hiruzen has no idea what the mi amorcito means, or mi amor means. And whenever DSM and, well, Angel thus, explained that they were speaking Spanish, and Hiruzen basically admits he does not know what Spanish is, and, DSM just fucking face palms. Oh my god. That's gonna be a problem. And basically just, like, and just, like, does some sort of jutsu, and basically, like, all three of them are just transported, and where they end up, like, it's all dark. Naruto has no idea where the hell they are. But Angel Dust is like, seriously, babe? And DSM is like, well, the tunnelways are, discreet, and if we don't want, the surprise to be ruined before it's time, you know. And Angel is just like, oh, we're doing that. Then I guess the tunnelways are fine. And, well, they find, inside the tunnelways, a train. And, well, the three of them, DSM, Angel, and Naruto board the train. And then it just full speed ahead. And it actually, just like in SpongeBob, the episode Rock Bottom, like, it goes up at a 90-degree angle. And then all of a sudden, like Naruto, whenever he looks out the window after, vomiting anything that he had actually had, but not so much the 90-degree angle, not so much because of the 90-degree angle, but because, well, it was rotten milk. Because he had actually forgotten about making any ramen. And that was just because, well, he knew it was his birthday and he was panicking so much that he actually forgot his ramen. And DSM is just like, don't worry, kid, whenever we, get to, well, home, we can actually get you some stuff. So you don't look so disheveled and like a piece of crap. No hard feelings, right? And Angel, this is like, jeez, babe. Way to, lay it down. Oh, my poor kid. And whenever they make it up to the surface level, they basically, see that, well, DSM and Angel don't really see it because they already know that it's there. Because, their entire home, whenever it was transferred, where it was transferred is basically where the ruins of Izushi used to be. So basically flattening it all out and turning it into their home. And now it's basically a sprawling metropolis of their own, using like certain seals in order to keep it hidden. Basically make it look like nothing had actually happened. Same old ruins. Whenever, in all truth, it's, well, not that at all. And Naruto is, like, completely amazed by what he sees before him, but also terrified because he doesn't know how the people here will, react to him. Like, he may be 12, like 13, whatever, preteen years, going on teen years, but he still has that fear in him. And that feeling of crippling loneliness. And Naruto already knowing that, well, from what DSM said, that he's a leader or the leader of this place, whatever that means. Well, whatever. But, well, it was never really said, well, what actually the Angel Dust, what their role is in this place. Those two, they seem to call this place Underneath the naming conventions of the five elemental nations, Delta no Kuni. As a way to harbor it away from, well, what it used to be. The ruins of a fallen civilization, Azushiogakure. But it's not like they completely erased the history of Azushiogakure from existence. They have history textbooks about that shit. For certain reasons that not everyone knows about, but they're still there. Everything is still there. Actually, stuff was kind of repurposed and refurnished and, shit was redone, to make it look better. So it isn't exactly like how it was, forgotten, but more like it was, reanimated into something where they'd be able to live. And basically, whenever Naruto asks, well, Angel does, who is he exactly within the community? Seeing as he already seems to know what, DSM's job is within the community. And Angel Dust, well, kid, I am sort of the helper with a little something known as the primetime main event. And my boss, well, whenever you meet him, he's a delight to be around, trust me. Well, usually he is. Oh, and by the way, seeing as I don't have the limitation of plushies, Vox is not a shark. He can choose to become a shark anytime, but he isn't normally a shark. Seeing as through this format, the what if format, he doesn't have to be a shark. Okay, now it's back to story. And well, DSM basically goes over to meet DSM.exe, talking about something that basically more or less leaves Angel Dust, well, to go over towards his work with Naruto until, after all, more or less, in his work, his boss is indeed Vox. And so, more or less, Naruto would get the chance to meet Vox there. And Naruto actually gets to see Angel perform. While waiting, to see if he can find Vox. DSM doing another music thing, but this is Angel theme. basically what Naruto hears whenever Angel Dust starts, performing. Naruto got a heads up on his way here. Basically, that music is kind of embedded into the culture. Like, like, like most, if not all, things have music as a part of the culture, but this, place, the Delta stuff, whatever, their culture is, well, super music. Like, it's basically a part of their lifeblood. And that was the. And, well, after hearing that, Naruto is basically like, this place is nice. So far, like, everyone's here has been nice. Even though so far the only people he really knows are, like, DSM and Angel Dust. But, if so far the only two people he knows from here are nice people, that's better than what he can remember from other places. That's better than what he can vouch for certain places. Then Naruto sees a cord on the ground and he follows it. And basically, he wanders into a room with an open door. And he sees that in the room, on the far wall, are a bunch of screens. Like a bunch of monitors, screens, and shit. And he sees someone, looking at all of them and, like, planning something. Like, check? Like, just, like, checking stuff off a list or whatever. Like, the dude seems very busy. Like, he seems very busy. And he remembers, hearing that, Vox, Jack the Angel's boss, and, the one who helps with all, like, the planning and shit of, like, the primetime main event that happens every year. Well, it's supposed to happen every year. And when Naruto accidentally steps on one of the cords that just so happens to be, you know, one that this person was also grasping at the same time. The tug gets the person to realize Naruto was behind him, and the person's just like, hello there. Are you the kid that I've been hearing about? I got that message from DSM. What was it, Naruto? And Naruto's like, yeah, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. And, you are? Vox, I think? That's what Angel said. After all, you do seem to be out like a TV head. And, I think I remember Angel saying something about that. And also DSM saying something about that. And, Vox is just like, those two. Yes, I'm Vox. It seems that Angel has just gotten done with his number. With any luck, we'll be ready for the primetime main event sooner than later this time. And Naruto is like, wait, can I join? And Vox is like, you sure, kid? I mean, you're only like preteen to teens. Like, you sure you want to do that? Besides, you don't even really know all that much about, any of us. And, well, Naruto just gives Vox this determined look. And Vox is like, that look reminds me of somebody. You're almost like an echo of DSM with that determined look of yours. Well then, if you manage to impress me, I might just let you perform the next primetime main event. But you'd actually have to have something to perform. Would you like a demonstration from somebody who's, been integrating all of this? Knows more or less all the ropes? And Naruto's like, well, if it will help me do it, then sure. And so Vox is like, well then, feast your eyes. You know what we're here for. Both Vox and Bax themes. Naruto was not expecting this, but, he's willing to learn. And it's safe to say that Naruto really liked that one. And they can, you know, more or less start to hear some crackling static and some clapping. No, no. What do we have here? Comes, Alistair out of the radio with, like, his dang smile. You should smile more, child. You're never fully dressed without one. And, well, Naruto, like, absolutely sees, like, a cardboard cutout of something. And he's, like, wondering what that is. And, the person just, like, turns their head and they're like, Bendy, let's not try to give them a heart attack. Why don't we? And then, like, the cardboard cutout, like all the color just leaks from it and turns into something like, jeez, Al. Come on, I was about to have some fun. And basically, like, Naruto ends up figuring out that these two people are Alice the Radio Demon and Bendy the Dancing Demon Little Devil Darling. And then Naruto sees a light overhead, go like ding. And, Vox is like, oops, I gotta go check on something. And Naruto, follows, Vox and sees, like, him open a capsule. And some sort of metal contraption thing seems to be hooked up to the capsule. And Vox is like, come on, honey, you don't want to, be late for our little date for a little FoxyCon, now do we? And then something just bursts with life, and I was like, FoxyCon where? And Naruto is just like, whoa, what the? A robot? And just introduces themselves as Metal Sonic. And, well, Naruto sees someone going through the door, and they're just like, and a little parcel for a certain someone. And Vox is like, oh, Charlie, thanks. God, I finally got that thing delivered. Hopefully we'll finally be the breakthrough I've been needing. After that last little skirmish, things haven't been looking too good. If I'm to actually fix Vax's Metal Sonic arms, I'm going to need this. And Metal Sonic is like, thanks, Charlie. You really are, a good help. And Charlie is like, it's nothing, really. And through all of this interaction, Naruto ends up learning that this person's name is Charlie Morningstar. The Princess of Hell. And well, then he just sees a speedy blur, and whenever everything clears up, he just sees like Charlie being carried bridal style by something. He can't really explain what it is. Is it an animal or a person? And whatever it is just laughs like probably should explain to the kid. Don't want him going crazy. Hey, hola mi amigo. Basically saying hi my friend. And Naruto was like, huh? And, well, the person's just like, I greeted you. Anyways, for those wanting to know, and by that I mean you, the name is Xenophanes. And Naruto is like, huh? And Xenophanes is like, or just call me Zen. And Naruto's just like, Zen, you seem awfully clingy to, Charlie there. And Charlie just starts like, it's just like laughing her ass off. And Zen is like, well, for your information, little gawky, she's my wife. Has been for a while. And Naruto is just like, wow, learn something new every dang day. So basically, after just like a very energetically charged day, like everybody just winds down. And Naruto gets, to choose which family he gets to like stay with. And he chooses the Fuegos. And he figures out that DSM actually, and Angel Dust, and like DSM and Angel Dust, they had kids or have kids. Jewel and Angelo. Angelo, as usual, is kind of a little bit of an asshole. And Jewel is kind of the one who has to temper the storm. But with a wild child like Naruto, it seems that there's been like a third element thrown in. Jutsu Mafia. That should be a new channel name. Jutsu Mafia. Freestyle. Naruto having also heard something called Devi abilities from the kids. Not just Jewel and Angelo, but the other kids. And I even heard about, well, how awesome Devi abilities are. But for now, Naruto is just glad to be safe and secure. in, well, a place where he doesn't have to sleep with his eyes open. That's a plus for him. That is a plus for him. Doses. Jutsu Mafia Freestyle.